Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. Today is season 7, episode number 20 tonight, Andy. It's the Songs edition. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Warm weather now. A lot of the outdoor shows are starting to be announced. So
The amphitheater shows, the outdoor, all these concerts. So we're getting into the time of year. It's March 26th, 2026 tonight. Our last episode of the month of March will be into April before we know it. Tonight's an album review,
yes.
Andy. We've never done this band.
We've wanted to.
Well, we've wanted to. Now it's the first time. It's we're in 7th season. It's been about 6.5 years. So we're finally going to get some Slade.
Yes.
A British rock band from Great Britain. Here we go. Slade.
If we didn't have Slade, we wouldn't have Quiet Riot, but that's another
Well,
story.
we'll get into that too. I'll get your thoughts on that because that's a very big recurring theme when I go through all these album reviews with the comments section. Let's take this banner off here. Let's go to this album review. Here we go. Here we go. Slade, keep your hands off my power supply. So this is 1984 album, released by a British rock group, Slade. Released in March and then in America and Canada on April 2nd, 1984. So this is 42 years old coming up. It's going to be next week. 42 years ago, this album was dropped. But all it was, Andy, was a repackaged version of their previous album called The Amazing Kamikaze Syndrome, which was released in the UK, Europe, and across the rest of the world in December of 83. Here, they released it, repackaged it. It reached number 33 in the U.S. and 26 in Canada, giving the band their breakthrough in the U.S. The album proved to be the most successful North American release of Slade's career. Both Run, Runaway, and My Oh My enjoyed top 40 success as singles here. So, Andy, this band had been around for a while, just never being able to break it open in the U.S. Very popular in Great Britain. Very popular in Europe, right?
Yes. Yes, they were a big deal over there. On that show, they're called Top of the Pops. They were on there quite a bit.
Yes.
Very, very famous over there, yes.
So very, very famous. And, the year it was, the year before, we can get into that other song now, maybe, because that was 1983 when did Quiet Riot release? 1983? Come on, Feel the Noise?
Yeah, see, I was 84, 85, 83.
It says 83 here.
Yeah.
And what I feel, and I'd like to get your thoughts on this, is Slade never made it big, but their song 1973 song that was released, Come On Feel the Noise, was huge in the UK. Quiet Riot covers it a full 10 years later, 83, becomes huge in the US. And is that why they said, hey, let's do something, let's repackage this and get it out to the US because people know who we are. And it worked to some extent. It worked, right? So they got their first American record label deal with CBS. They had one in the 70s.
Well, that and Mama We're All Crazy are both songs.
That's right. That's right. So they get a deal. They release this, which is really, this album was recorded a year before. They repackage it, move the song listing around a little bit, add some songs, took away some songs from the previous album in 1983, and it goes pretty good. Now, goes pretty good is not to say much. This album didn't even go gold in the US. Canada, it did. And I don't know it was certified gold in Canada. But so Run Runaway was first released in America in March of 84. So like I said, 42 years ago today, the song's music video received heavy rotation on MTV. Now, once again, Andy, timing is everything. MTV, they hit the jackpot. They had a very basic music video called Run Runaway. MTV played it over and over as the network first really began, and this thing took off. They also released My Oh My in June of that year, and finally Slam the Hammer Down. But it was those first two. Here's the track listing. Run Runaway, 5 minutes. My Oh My. So right away, we see the first two songs on side A, songs 1 and 2, right out of the chute. Like we said, we don't see that too often. And then it goes on to the remaining songs on side 1. Right. High and Dry, Slam the Hammer Down, and In the Doghouse. So basically, the 3 singles were all on side A, with the last song released, Slam the Hammer Down. Side 2 is Keep Your Hands Off My Power Supply. That is the song title of the album. That song lyrics really deal with the drunk driver driving with an amorous female as a passenger being followed by police. So good lyrics there. Fun song. Next song is Cheap and Nasty Love. Next song is Can't Tame a Hurricane. Next song is And Now the Waltz. And then finally the song Ready to Explode. Now, Andy, I'd like to get your thoughts on Ready to Explode. It's a whole song with lyrics dealing with car racing, auto racing. It's got a Meatloaf feel to it. I think the song sounds a lot like Meatloaf with the various narrative. It's 8 minutes long. It's almost like By the Dashboard Lights kind of a feel to it. And their other singer sings that. I mean, it's Jim Lee on the vocals there. What's your thoughts on that one?
And the thing is about this whole band in general, I'll tell you right now, is when I first saw them, early MTV stuff and that, it was all off the top of the pops stuff in England. And you first see these guys on stage, and you're kind of like, who the hell are these guys? I got to see this. Kind of the whole attitude that Twisted Sister went with, or the glam rock guys went with. Let's get as goofy a look as we can. And they kept it up. But then you listen to their music, like, okay, these guys are really good. But they got your attention. You want to see what's going on, and now you're listening to them. And I saw these 4 guys on stage going. I'm like, okay, these guys are having fun doing this. At least that's the face they were putting on. Yep. And found out later they really were having fun doing this. Their songs aren't parody, goofy songs, but they're fun songs. Now, you say, well, geez, I've never heard of these guys. Okay, you go through, I'm just looking right now here on my Google machine, covers of Slade songs. I got a list of 20-some Slade songs here different people have covered that you don't know because Slade was so England only, you didn't know it. Again, the 2 Quiet Riot songs, Come On Feel the Noise and Mama We're All Crazy Now, both Slade covers. They had one song called Goodbye to Jane, which most recently Britney Fox did that on their first album. But in 1977, Goodbye to Jane by Van Halen. Slade's version came out in 72. Van Halen did a cover in 77. David Lee Roth was known for liking to do covers.
Oh, yes.
So even in 77, because some of these songs I heard the Van Halen one. When I first heard Britney Fox do Goodbye to Jane, I'm like, I've heard this song. I like this. Where have I heard it? Then as I got older and did my homework, oh yeah, it was a Slade song. So they were respected by other artists where they did their covers. People wanted to do their songs. But the way the band ended too was so sad after this, I think. But
yeah, I want to get your thoughts on that too when we get to the end of it, because I have some questions on that as well. There's a very good YouTube, like a little 12-minute documentary on just kind of what happened to bring down this band. But here's what I think is very interesting. They go to the US and they said, hey, we want a tour. We want to do a full American tour. Who can we support? They said, how about you get on with Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah, Sharon Osbourne called them.
Yes. She goes, I'll manage you guys. I'll manage you guys as the opening act, but I want you to play before Ozzy. Now that, as someone who just recently looked up and kind of got to know Slade, I never would have guessed that. I never would have guessed that at all. But Sharon said, I'll manage you guys. The tour's going to start. The band played a few warm-up shows to get ready. But the first night on the tour with Osbourne, Slade had to cancel the remaining shows because the bassist Jim Lee collapsed and was diagnosed with hepatitis.
Yep.
Now after that,
and the lead singer was going through a divorce, so his life wasn't the greatest at the time anyway.
Noddy Holder, his marriage was on the rocks. They said, let's just stop touring and let's let the dust settle. Things are happening too fast here, and they never really got back.
Nope, they weren't going to pick up another bass player and try to go through. His marriage was in the crapper, so that he wasn't really in it wholeheartedly, Understand?
Could you imagine in 80, this tour would have been 84, 85. Do you know how big Ozzy was at that time? This
Like
would
you
have
said,
been, this would have
Slade's
changed
coming,
them.
and Slade's coming around. They're gonna play these songs. People are gonna go, wait, I know that song. I know that song. I know that song. Because we have said how many other people have covered all their stuff. So they would have got a huge following. Boom, they could have shot to the moon.
I agree with that. Being up with Ozzy, boy, that would have been
Yeah.
tremendous. And instead, it didn't happen. A fluke accident. A marriage on the rocks fails. The dude gets hepatitis. They have to cancel the rest of the shows. It turns into a disaster. And like we said, you never really hear much of Slade anymore. But boy, that would have been huge. Now, here's what I've got, Andy, as far as the critical reception, some of the reviews. And I
Okay.
thought this is good. The Chicago Tribune writer said Slade's sledgehammer style being similar to the intensity of metal attacks, but with an approach more melodic. They summarized, it's all loud and aggressive music, and new Slade numbers such as Slam the Hammer Down should satisfy even the most demanding metalhead.
Yep.
But it's pleasantly abrasive. The voice for Naughty Holder is sandpaper rasp. They have some good tunes, and they've got humor built in.
Yep.
And it's such a wonderful alternative, they said, to such grim successors as Judas Priest or even the colorless Quiet Riot, they said. So they were having fun, like you said. They had fun. They were having a good time with it. They were not serious. And people, I think, like that.
Yeah.
Now, here's the last thing I've got, and I want your thoughts on this as well. This review says that the album contains pretty simple rockers and pile-driving rock and roll with some goofy sense of fun, memorable choruses, and lots of guitar. So what's your thoughts
That sounds about right. Yeah.
there?
Yeah. I mean,
Now,
they were a metal band. I'm sorry. I would consider them metal. Yes.
and if you look at some of their early stuff, in the 70s, these guys were crossing that bridge between the 60s with Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, and some of the metal, the heavier bands, and Jimi Hendrix, and some of those other bands that were coming into play with Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple. These guys were in the midst of all this when everything was kind of converting, and so they were good. They were very popular across the river, the sea, Atlantic Ocean. Also, Uriah Heep was the other one. Now, here's the personnel. Now, Andy, I have to admit, I never heard of any of these names. You probably have, but Naughty Holder, lead vocals. Dave
I've heard
Hill,
of them
lead.
just because of Slade. Yeah.
Okay, Dave Hill, lead guitar. Jim Lee, bass. Don Powell, drums. And so it's interesting music. It's very easy listening, is what I thought to it. Good melodies, catchy tunes. The entire album is 39 minutes long. It's 10 songs. A lot of them are 2 to 3 minutes each. It's a quick, easy listening 1984 album, I think. A good album cover, good raspy voice by Naughty. And then they got that long track at the end that talks about race car driving. That's what I was going to ask you. Did you know about that before covering this album?
No, I did not. I mean, I knew the song, but I didn't know about the race car.
Ready to Explode, it's called. So these guys were big race car fans, obviously. And they made that song kind of as a tribute to that whole auto racing industry. But once again, over in the UK, these guys were very well known. Here, not so much, but boy, if that tour with Ozzy would have taken a different turn, I think it's safe to say we all would have known these guys.
I was just looking them up here. Slade's UK's #1 hits. They had 6 of them. 1971, "Cause I Love You." "Cause" is spelled C-O-Z. "Cause I Love You." L-U-Z.
Oh, yes.
So they're kind of funny on their spelling too. 1972, "Take Me Back Home." Back home, like back home, but back home. 1972 chart topper. "Mama, We're All Crazy Now" in 1973, an iconic glam anthem. "Come On, Feel the Noise" 1973, one of 3 singles to enter the UK charts straight at #1. Also 1973, "Squeeze Me, Please Me," another 1973 instant #1. And then "Merry Xmas Everybody" #73, their best-selling Christmas classic, selling over 1 million copies. In fact, that was the #1 Christmas song until the "Do They Know It's Christmas" by Band Aid.
Oh, it was.
Would I lie to you?
So somewhere I read also doing this review is that they're very much known for their Christmas song, Christmas album, and I didn't catch
that was
the reference to that.
Yep. It was just that the right timing was right, and I mean it was in the early '70s, so of course, if it was in this genre with this media stuff today doing stuff, we would have heard about them, of course.
Yeah, but I think it's a good idea. Quiet Riot makes them essentially famous. The song in '83, they repackaged the album, release it here in America, do a couple music videos. '84 gets a ton of airplay.
Run Away is a very good video, fun video.
It's fun stuff. It's easy listening to, and that's one of those songs that you cannot get out of your head.
Right. You hear it once, you're singing it all day long. And it's a good thing you're singing it all day. And it's not that annoying, like, God damn, I got the song in my head.
It's
you don't
such
mind
a catchy. And I remember back, you and I probably remember MTV. This was a popular song on the rotation. Everyone liked it in school. It's just an easy listening song.
Yep. And it had
wasn't heavy metal, but it was hard.
Back and forth between the band and the crowd, too. So you could.
Yes.
You were supposed to sing along. You couldn't get yelled at by. You're not supposed to sing. Yeah, that's the crowd part,
Easy lyrics, sing along. It just opens the door to have a song that's easy, liked, and well received. Good reception. Everyone likes it. It sticks in your head. It's perfect.
That song would have been great on tour in a concert venue because it's supposed to be the feedback part.
Yes.
What a great song for an opening act to have to get the crowd going. They got 2 or 3 of their songs have been recent covers that are popular.
Yep.
What a great warm-up act to give you an hour and a half. It would have been a dream to see that before Ozzy.
Sharon was on the right track. Sharon knew that she said, if we can get these guys in, this could be good. Like you said, the back and forth with the fans, the crowd, the energy with the crowd as an opening act to get ready for Ozzy coming on. She was on the money. I never do that information. So this is a good one. Go back and listen to it, folks. Yes, go back and listen to it, folks. Leave your comments below if you have it or have some other comments or anything that we missed. But good album to listen to. It's 39 minutes, 10 songs, 1984. Easy, very easy listening.
Yeah, fun songs, fun stuff.
Yeah, did you like the Meatloaf comment? Did it?
Yes, I kind of caught that when I heard the song that you said. That's like, okay, I can see where you're getting that from now. Yeah,
different vocals, different lead singer, kind of sounds like that. But that's as an outsider, that's what connected with me, I think, the most.
Yep.
All right, see you next month, and we'll be in April, everybody, next month, and we'll do another album review then. See you next Thursday.
Bye.